The last big war ended 3,000 years ago. Since then, humans lived in peace. They changed from fighters into builders, thinkers, and space travelers. In the year 2389, all countries joined together to form the Global Harmony Council. There were no more borders, no more fights for land or power. John Miller worked as the chief historian at the Luna Archives on the Moon. His job was to study and record the violent history of humans. He was one of the few people who still understood what war really meant. Most people alive now had never seen a fight bigger than a short argument. John sat at his desk looking at old war records. His young assistant, Lisa Patel, walked in with a stack of digital files. "More ancient battle reports for you to catalog," she said, placing them on his desk. She looked at the screen showing images of destroyed cities from the last war. "I don't understand why we keep studying these old horrors. Nobody fights like this anymore." John smiled patiently. 3,000 years without a single armed conflict between human settlements, he said. "Our ancestors would have thought that was impossible." Lisa shrugged. "Maybe they just weren't as smart as us." John turned back to his work. "Or maybe we haven't been tested the way they were." Outside the archive windows, Earth hung in the black sky like a blue and green jewel. Orbital cities circled it like tiny stars. Humans had spread out to Mars, built bases on moons around Jupiter and Saturn, and sent explorer ships to nearby stars. All of this happened in peace. What humans didn't know was that other beings watched them from far away. A group of alien civilizations called the Galactic Concordat had been studying Earth for hundreds of years. This group included 17 different species who traveled between stars. The Concordat kept detailed records about humans. Their latest report said, "Humans have evolved beyond their primitive origins. They have not engaged in warfare for 3 millennia. They appear suitable for diplomatic inclusion in the Concordat." Several Concordat members still had doubts. "Their history contains too much violence," said one ambassador. "They may revert to their old ways." But most agreed the humans had changed enough to join their group. They prepared to make official contact within the next 5 years. Meanwhile, another alien group learned about humans too. The Vraxians were reptile-like creatures from a dying star system. Their society was built on conquest. They needed resources for their fleet and new planets for their people. The Vraxian scout commander Kraz Takar read the stolen Concordat reports about Earth with great interest. "A species without weapons," he said to his officers. "A system rich with resources. Planets already prepared for life." He showed his sharp teeth in what passed for a smile among his kind. "And the Concordat has not yet brought them under protection," his second-in-command noted. "Prepare the battle fleet," Kraz Takar ordered. "We will take this system before the Concordat can act." Back on Earth, Sam Baker led a tour group through the War Memorial Museum in what was once called North America. The museum was mostly empty except for school groups on required history trips. This laser rifle was one of the last weapons mass-produced for human combat, Sam explained to the bored teenagers. After the Great Unification, weapons like these were melted down to build the first orbital elevators. "Could it still work?" asked the young boy. Sam laughed. "No one remembers how to make them work anymore. Besides, why would we want to? The last person who died in a war has been gone for over 2,500 years." As Sam spoke those words, the Vraxian battle fleet jumped into hyperspace, headed for the Sol system. Their estimated arrival, 3 days. Peace had made humans prosperous, happy, and completely unprepared for what was coming. The Vraxian ships appeared at the edge of the solar system 3 days later. They came out of hyperspace near Neptune, their engines glowing against the darkness of space. Earth's long-range telescopes spotted them first. The news spread quickly across all human settlements. "Unknown ships detected," the alert read on screens everywhere. Not matching any known human design. Elizabeth Crawford was woken up by the alert. As Earth's top diplomat, she had trained for this moment her whole life. First contact with aliens, she had practiced speeches, studied possible alien cultures, and run hundreds of simulations, but she never expected it would actually happen during her lifetime. "Get me everything we know about the ships," she told her computer as she got dressed, "and tell the first contact team to prepare for launch." Within 3 hours, Elizabeth and her team were on a shuttle heading toward the alien fleet. With her were scientist Greg Washington and cultural specialist Samantha Rodriguez. All three wore the blue and white uniforms of Earth's diplomatic corps. "Remember the protocols," Elizabeth told her team. "No sudden movements. Speak clearly. Show respect, but not fear." Greg checked his translation equipment. "The universal math language is ready if they can't understand our words." Samantha looked nervous but excited. 3,000 years of peace, and we're the ones who get to welcome our first alien visitors. As their shuttle approached the largest alien ship, they'd broadcast a simple message in all known human languages. "We come in peace as representatives of Earth and humanity. We welcome you to our solar system and wish to establish friendly communication." They waited. No response came from the alien ship. "Try again," Elizabeth said. "Maybe they don't understand our transmission format." The shuttle moved closer, broadcasting the same peaceful message. This time, the alien ship responded. A beam of bright green energy shot out from the Vraxian vessel. It hit the human shuttle directly. The shuttle exploded in a flash of light and heat. All three humans died instantly. Back on Earth, millions watched the live broadcast in shock. The Global Harmony Council gathered in their meeting hall in New Geneva. They had no procedures for this situation, no protocols for an unprovoked attack. Most of the council members were artists, scientists, and teachers. None had any experience with war. President Laura Chen arrived looking calm but concerned. "What do we know about these aliens?" she asked. The science advisor shook her head. "Almost nothing. Their technology is clearly advanced. Their ships are designed for efficiency, not beauty." "Why did they destroy our shuttle?" asked another council member. "It was clearly unarmed." "Perhaps it was a misunderstanding," someone suggested. Then the aliens sent their first message. It appeared on screens across the solar system. A reptile-like creature with green scales and yellow eyes looked out at humanity. When it spoke, the translation computers worked to turn its hissing sounds into human language. "I am Commander Krastakar of the Vraxian Empire," the alien said. "Your system now belongs to us. You will surrender within 72 hours. We have studied your kind. You have no weapons, no defenses, and no will to fight. Surrender will mean survival for some of you. Resistance will mean death for all." The message ended. Silence fell across Earth and its colonies. Admiral Frank Jones was pulled out of retirement that same day. He had been in charge of Earth's Defense Museum fleet. Old ships kept working just for historical interest. No one had commanded a real military operation in generations. "Mr. President," he said when he arrived at the emergency meeting, "what are your orders?" President Chen looked at him with steady eyes. "Admiral, can we defend ourselves?" Frank hesitated. "The museum ships have their original systems intact, but no weapons. We have simulators for training, but no real combat experience. We have the knowledge of war in our history books, but not in our hands." "Then what can we do?" asked a council member. For the first time in 3,000 years, humans had to consider fighting. But strangely, there was little panic. Instead, people began to ask questions, share ideas, and look through history for answers. The clock was ticking. 72 hours until the deadline. News of the alien threats spread across Earth and its colonies. But something strange happened. Instead of panic, a different feeling began to grow among humans. They felt curious, interested, and even a bit amused. President Laura Chen called for calm in her system-wide address. "For the first time in 3,000 years, we face an existential threat. We will respond not with fear, but with the resourcefulness that has always defined our species." After her speech, social media networks buzzed with activity. People shared pictures comparing the Vraxian ships to kitchen appliances and old movie villains. One popular image showed the alien commander's face next to a grumpy house cat. The caption read, "Separated at birth." Bill Harris, a teacher in New Chicago, found his history class suddenly full. Students who had slept through lessons about ancient wars now asked detailed questions about battle tactics and weapons. "I've been teaching military history for 30 years, he told a colleague. This is the first time students have stayed after class to ask more questions. Museums across the solar system reported record visitor numbers. People wanted to see the old weapons and military equipment. They touched the glass cases holding swords, guns, and battle armor with new interest. On Mars colony, mining engineer Kevin Douglas had an idea. He studied the scans of the Vraxian scout ship patrolling near Phobos, one of Mars' moons. He noticed a pattern in the ship's communication signals. "Their system uses a regular pulse," he told his team. "If we time it right, we might be able to disrupt it." Using mining equipment designed to break up rocks, Kevin created a signal that matched the Vraxian communication pattern, but with opposite timing. When they transmitted it toward the scout ship, something unexpected happened. The alien vessel began to spin in circles, its navigation system confused by the conflicting signals. Someone recorded the spinning ship and shared the video. Within hours, it became the most watched content in human history. People laughed and cheered. It was the first time humans had successfully fought back, even in this small way. The Global Harmony Council created a crisis response team. They chose Olivia Martinez to lead it. She was a retired historian who studied military tactics as a hobby. Her first report was simple and direct. "We have no modern weapons," she wrote, "but we have something better. We have 3,000 years of technological progress that wasn't limited by military thinking. Our tools for building, healing, and exploring might be more advanced than their tools for destroying." The Vraxians seemed confused by the human response. They had expected fear and surrender talks. Instead, they detected increasing activity throughout the solar system. When they didn't receive any surrender message, they decided to show their power. A Vraxian battleship approached Neptune, where automated mining stations collected gases from the planet's atmosphere. Without warning, they fired energy weapons that destroyed 3 stations. They broadcast the attack to Earth, expecting it would break human resolve. Instead, something unexpected happened. Humans named the newly discovered element Neptunius in honor of the destroyed stations. Scientists who had been working on the mining project smiled when they announced the name during a press conference. Meanwhile, Jack Warren, curator of the Defense Museum Fleet, received strange orders. His museum ships, old vessels kept in working condition for educational purposes, were being activated. Volunteer crews arrived, mostly from historical reenactment societies and space engineering schools. Jack looked at his new crew with doubt. "None of us have ever been in a real space battle." A young woman named Susan Lopes smiled at him. "The aliens don't know that. Besides, we've all played space battle games. How different can it be?" As the 72-hour deadline approached, the Vraxians prepared for a simple surrender or an easy victory. They didn't understand what was happening among the humans. They couldn't comprehend why these seemingly peaceful beings were smiling. The 72-hour deadline passed. No surrender message was sent from Earth. The Vraxians prepared to attack. Their first target was Mars colony. On Mars, people worked quickly to prepare. Paul Davidson, the colony's chief engineer, had an idea. Mars had huge dust shields that protected buildings from storms. Paul and his team changed these shields to make them send out electromagnetic pulses. "The aliens use electronic systems to aim their weapons," Paul told his team. "If we mess with their electronics, they might not be able to hit us." When the Vraxian ships approached Mars, Paul activated the modified shields. Suddenly, the alien targeting systems went crazy. Their weapons fired but missed the colony buildings. The Vraxian ships moved in closer, trying to aim manually. That's when the second part of Paul's plan started. Mars had many atmospheric processors, machines that helped make the air more breathable. The engineers had reprogrammed these to create small gravity wells, areas where gravity suddenly changed. The Vraxian ships, flying close to the surface, were pulled off course. Some crashed into each other. The mining teams had their own surprise ready. They normally used explosives to break up rocks for mining. Now they put these explosives on small remote drones. The drones flew into the confused Vraxian ships and exploded. After losing 17 ships, the Vraxians retreated. They hadn't expected such creative defense. Videos of the battle spread throughout human space. People cheered and laughed at the aliens' confusion. Back on Earth, Patrick Anderson led a team that modified the planet's weather control system. These satellites normally prevented hurricanes and directed rain to farms. Now they were being changed to create energy shields around major cities. "We never built weapons," Patrick explained to President Chen. "But we built really good tools. And now we're finding new ways to use them." In orbit around Earth, construction platforms that normally built living spaces were transformed into defense stations. Research stations across the solar system linked their sensors together to create an early warning network. The Vraxian commander, Kraz-Takar, was furious. He sent another message to Earth. "How is a peaceful species able to fight like this? You have no warships, no weapons. How are you resisting?" President Chen replied with a simple message. "Peace was always our choice, not our limitation." This made Kraz-Takar even angrier. He decided to attack Earth directly with his main fleet. He would show these humans that their clever tricks couldn't stop real military power. What he didn't understand was that human technology had advanced in ways very different from Vraxian technology. While the Vraxians focused on building better weapons over centuries, humans had spent 3,000 years solving problems without violence. Nick Patil and Alice Bennett, quantum physicists from the Pacific Science Institute, found a weakness in the Vraxian ships. Their shields were designed to stop physical objects and energy weapons, but they weren't made to handle rapid changes in quantum fields, something humans had mastered for their instant communication systems. "We can use our quantum communication network to disrupt their shield generators," Nick explained to the crisis response team. "It won't destroy their ships, but it will leave them vulnerable to other attacks." Olivia Martinez, head of the crisis response team, smiled. "So we can turn our phone system into a weapon?" "Basically, yes," Alice replied. "We can call them to death." The U.S. Constitution, an old space carrier turned museum ship, led the Defense Museum fleet out of Earth orbit. Captain Jack Warren addressed his crew of historians and volunteers. "We're probably going to die, but we'll make history either way." One of his crew members, a young pilot named Danny Wright, laughed. "Or we'll just win and really confuse those aliens." Across the solar system, humans prepared for the coming battle with a strange mix of determination and amusement. They might not have been fighters for thousands of years, but they were exceptional problem solvers. And sometimes, that was better. The Vraxian main fleet approached Earth. 50 battleships moved into position around the planet. Commander Kraz-Takar felt sure this would be an easy victory. His ships were built for war. The humans had no real weapons. Their clever tricks on Mars couldn't save them now. Rachel Wright, director of the Quantum Communication Network, had a new idea. The network used quantum entanglement to send messages instantly between Earth and its colonies. It was normally used for phone calls, messages, and entertainment. "We can use our communication network to coordinate all our defenses," she told the crisis response team. "The Vraxians will think we're fighting separately, but we'll actually be working together." Her plan got a name: the Harmony Protocol. Every defense system, every repurposed tool, every museum ship would work as one unit. This was something the Vraxians couldn't understand. Their military had strict chains of command. Each ship followed orders from above. Humans were going to fight as equals, sharing ideas in real time. The Vraxian attack began with ships targeting New Alexandria, Earth's largest city. They expected panic. They expected surrender. They got neither. Catherine White and her team had converted the city's atmospheric control system, normally used to keep the air clean, into an electromagnetic shield. When the Vraxian weapons fired, the shield disrupted their targeting. Most shots missed the city completely. The shots that did get through hit another defense. Industrial-grade force fields originally designed to contain hazardous materials in factories. These fields now protected homes and schools. In orbit, the museum ships moved into position. They had no weapons, but they had strong shields meant to protect them from space debris during long educational voyages. Now these ships placed themselves between the Vraxian fleet and Earth. Joe Williams, a history professor who specialized in ancient naval tactics, directed the museum fleet. "We don't need to destroy them," he told the volunteer captains. "We just need to keep them busy and confused while our real plan works." The real plan was happening on thousands of small maintenance ships. These vessels, normally used to repair satellites and space stations, carried modified quantum communication devices. They moved around the Vraxian fleet, creating a web of quantum disruption. As the battle continued, something strange happened. The Vraxian shields began to flicker and fail. Their communication systems filled with static. Their targeting computers showed multiple phantom targets that didn't really exist. Commander Krastakar shouted orders to his fleet. "Ignore the small ships. Target the planet's surface. Show no mercy." But his orders didn't get through. The quantum disruption blocked their military communication channels. On the museum ship U.S. Constitution, Captain Jack Warren received a message from a Vraxian cruiser. It was surrendering. Its captain wanted to save his crew from what seemed like powerful human weapons. Jack looked at his communications officer in surprise. "We accept their surrender," he said. "Tell them to power down their engines and wait for boarding instructions." The communications officer, Sarah Fields, typed the message, then whispered to Jack, "We don't know how to board an alien ship. We don't even have proper spacesuits for that." Jack smiled. "They don't know that. Just keep them waiting." Across the battle, more Vraxian ships found themselves unable to fight effectively. Some retreated. Some surrendered. Some crashed into each other while trying to escape the quantum disruption. After 17 hours of battle, the remaining Vraxian ships gathered at the edge of the solar system. Half their fleet was destroyed or captured. Commander Krastakar could not understand what had happened. "How did they defeat us?" he asked his officers. They had no warships, no weapons. They were supposed to be peaceful. His second-in-command looked at the battle data. "Sir, they did not fight with hatred or anger like warriors. They fought with curiosity and coordination, like scientists solving a problem." Krastakar stared at the image of Earth on his screen. "What kind of species are they?" Meanwhile, on Earth and throughout the colonies, humans celebrated their unexpected victory. Memes and jokes about the battle spread even faster than news reports. One popular image showed a Vraxian ship with the caption, "Came to conquer humanity, got defeated by repurposed kitchen appliances." The Vraxians had broken 3,000 years of peace, but humans had the last laugh. The day after the battle, Earth's leaders gathered to discuss what to do next. The Vraxian fleet still waited at the edge of the solar system. They had been defeated but not destroyed. Everyone wondered if they would attack again or leave. President Laura Chen spoke to the Global Harmony Council. "We have won a battle, but this may not be over. We need to decide our next steps carefully." Some council members wanted to build real weapons now. They worried that other alien races might attack in the future. Others disagreed. They felt that building weapons would change human society in bad ways. "We defended ourselves without becoming warriors again," said Council Member Ben Foster. "We used our peacetime technology in clever ways. We should continue that approach." While the Council debated, the Galactic Concordat, the group of 17 alien civilizations that had been watching Earth, finally decided to act. Their scout ships arrived at the edge of the solar system. They observed the damaged Vraxian fleet with interest. The Concordat had planned to invite humans to join them in 5 years, but now they decided to move faster. Their diplomatic ship approached Earth, broadcasting peaceful messages in multiple formats. This time, Earth sent a heavily protected diplomatic shuttle to meet them. The shuttle carried Adam Carter, Earth's newly appointed ambassador. Adam was a language expert who had studied alien communication possibilities for years. He never expected to use his knowledge so soon. The Concordat representatives were very different from the Vraxians. They had many different shapes and colors. Some looked like tall plants. Others resembled giant insects or jellyfishes. They all used translation devices to communicate. "We observe your conflict with the Vraxians," said the lead diplomat, a blue crystalline being named Exceltor. "We are impressed by your defense. We did not expect a peaceful species to fight so effectively." Adam smiled. "We prefer not to fight, but we can when necessary." The Concordat offers immediate military assistance against the Vraxian threat. Zeltor continued. "We can remove them from your system and provide protection in the future." Adam's response surprised the aliens. "We appreciate the offer, but it appears we have the situation under control." The Concordat representatives looked at each other in confusion. According to their records, humans had no military, yet they had defeated a Vraxian attack force and now declined help from the most powerful alliance in the galaxy. Meanwhile, the remaining Vraxian fleet prepared to retreat. Commander Krastekar gave orders to return to their home system. They would need to report this unexpected defeat to their leaders. But when they activated their hyperspace engines, nothing happened. The engines appeared to work but could not open a hyperspace window to leave. Diana Lee, a quantum programmer who normally created virtual entertainment systems, had modified the quantum communication network again. Now it created a field around the solar system that prevented hyperspace travel. The Vraxians were trapped. "We can't leave," Krastekhar's engineer reported. "Something is blocking our engines." For the first time, true fear showed in the commander's yellow eyes. "Send a message to the humans. We wish to negotiate." Back on Earth, President Chen received the Vraxian request to talk. She did not send military leaders to meet them. Instead, she formed a committee of historians, engineers, and cultural experts. Their job was to find a peaceful solution that protected Earth but didn't destroy the Vraxians. News of the negotiations spread across human space. People watched with interest, but without the fear that the Vraxians expected. A poll showed that most humans felt curious about the aliens rather than angry at them for attacking. One popular comment online summed up the common feeling. "They came to conquer us. We defeated them with repurposed climate control systems, and now we're going to teach them how to be better neighbors." That's the most human thing ever. The Vraxians had broken humanity's long peace, but instead of turning humans back into warriors, it had proven how strong peace had made them. Their creativity, cooperation, and problem-solving skills were more powerful than any weapons. The Vraxian commander, Krastekar, sat across from the human negotiation team in a meeting room on a neutral space station. He expected to face angry military leaders. Instead, he found himself talking to historians, engineers, and cultural experts. They asked more questions than they made demands. "We want to understand why you attacked us," said Linda Morris, a historian who specialized in conflict resolution. "What did you hope to gain?" Krastekar found it hard to hide his confusion. In Vraxian culture, the winners of a battle would demand surrender, territory, and resources. These humans wanted to talk about reasons and feelings. "We needed resources and new planets for our people," he finally answered. "Our home system is dying. The Concordat report said you were peaceful and had no weapons. You seemed like easy targets." The humans looked at each other. This was valuable information. The Vraxians weren't evil. They were desperate. "What if we could help you find resources without taking our planets?" asked Robert Gray, an engineer. "Our solar system has many uninhabited moons and asteroids rich in minerals." Krastekhar's yellow eyes widened. "You would share resources with us?" After we attacked you. Linda nodded. We prefer cooperation to conflict. It's how we've lived for 3,000 years. Meanwhile, Adam Carter continued talks with the Galactic Concordat. Their diplomatic ship had moved into Earth orbit. The Concordat representatives were still surprised that humans had declined their military help. We wish to offer Earth immediate membership in the Concordat, said Exceltor. Your species has proven itself both advanced and capable. Adam smiled. We appreciate the offer and would like to learn more about membership, but we have one condition. What condition? Asked Exceltor. The Vraxians must also receive help from the Concordat. Adam said. They attacked us because they're desperate. Their home system is dying. They need resources and new homes for their people. This request shocked the Concordat representatives. According to galactic custom, the Vraxians should be punished for their unprovoked attack, not helped. The Vraxians violated our laws by attacking a peaceful system, Xeltor said. They must face consequences. Adam nodded. We agree there should be consequences, but those consequences can include rehabilitation and assistance, not just punishment. That's how we've handled conflicts among ourselves for thousands of years. On Earth, people followed the negotiations with interest. Schools held special lessons about the Vraxians and the Concordat. Museums created exhibits showing the recent battle alongside ancient human wars. Scientists studied the alien technology from captured Vraxian ships. Diana Lee, who had trapped the Vraxian fleet with her quantum field, now worked with a team to understand Vraxian hyperspace technology. She found it fascinating. Their approach to physics is completely different from ours, she told her colleagues. They focus on power and speed. We focus on efficiency and harmony. Both approaches work, but in different ways. The Global Harmony Council continued to debate whether to build actual weapons for defense. After many discussions, they reached a decision. President Chen announced it to all human settlements. We will not build weapons of war, she said. Instead, we will create better defensive systems based on our peaceful technology. We will not become warriors again. We will remain builders, thinkers, and explorers who can defend themselves when necessary. The announcement was met with widespread approval. Humans had faced their first interstellar threat and prevailed without abandoning their peaceful principles. In the negotiation room, Kraz Tekar was learning something new about humans. They didn't hate their enemies. They tried to understand them. This was completely foreign to Vraxian culture, where enemies were simply destroyed. Why aren't you angry with us? He asked Linda. We killed your diplomats. We attacked your colonies. Linda's answer was simple. Anger doesn't solve problems. Understanding does. For the first time in his life, Kraz Tekar felt something unusual. Shame about fighting, rather than pride. These strange, peaceful humans had defeated his fleet, but now they offered help instead of destruction. It made no sense according to Vraxian values. But somehow, it felt right. The Vraxian commander, Kraz Tekar, sat across from the human negotiation team in a meeting room on a neutral space station. He expected to face angry military leaders. Instead, he found himself talking to historians, engineers, and cultural experts. They asked more questions than they made demands. We want to understand why you attacked us, said Linda Morris, a historian who specialized in conflict resolution. What did you hope to gain? Kraz Tekar found it hard to hide his confusion. In Vraxian culture, the winners of a battle would demand surrender, territory, and resources. These humans wanted to talk about reasons and feelings. We needed resources and new planets for our people, he finally answered. Our home system is dying. The Concordat reports said you were peaceful and had no weapons. You seemed like easy targets. The humans looked at each other. This was valuable information. The Vraxians weren't evil. They were desperate. What if we could help you find resources without taking our planets? Asked Robert Gray, an engineer. Our solar system has many uninhabited moons and asteroids rich in minerals. Kraz Tekar's yellow eyes widened. You would share resources with us after we attack you. Linda nodded. We prefer cooperation to conflict. It's how we've lived for 3,000 years. Meanwhile, Adam Carter continued talks with the Galactic Concordat. Their diplomatic ship had moved into Earth orbit. The Concordat representatives were still surprised that humans had declined their military help. "We wish to offer Earth immediate membership in the Concordat," said Exceltor. "Your species has proven itself both advanced and capable." Adam smiled. "We appreciate the offer and would like to learn more about membership, but we have one condition." "What condition?" asked Exceltor. "The Vraxians must also receive help from the Concordat," Adam said. "They attacked us because they're desperate. Their home system is dying. They need resources and new homes for their people." This request shocked the Concordat representatives. According to galactic custom, the Vraxians should be punished for their unprovoked attack, not helped. "The Vraxians violated our laws by attacking a peaceful system," Exceltor said. "They must face consequences." Adam nodded. "We agree there should be consequences, but those consequences can include rehabilitation and assistance, not just punishment. That's how we've handled conflicts among ourselves for thousands of years. On Earth, people followed the negotiations with interest. Schools held special lessons about the Vraxians and the Concordat. Museums created exhibits showing the recent battle alongside ancient human wars. Scientists studied the alien technology from captured Vraxian ships. Diana Lee, who had trapped the Vraxian fleet with her quantum field, now worked with a team to understand Vraxian hyperspace technology. She found it fascinating. "Their approach to physics is completely different from ours," she told her colleagues. "They focus on power and speed. We focus on efficiency and harmony. Both approaches work, but in different ways." The Global Harmony Council continued to debate whether to build actual weapons for defense. After many discussions, they reached a decision. President Chen announced it to all human settlements. "We will not build weapons of war," she said. "Instead, we will create better defensive systems based on our peaceful technology. We will not become warriors again. We will remain builders, thinkers, and explorers who can defend themselves when necessary." The announcement was met with widespread approval. Humans had faced their first interstellar threat and prevailed without abandoning their peaceful principles. In the negotiation room, Kraz Tekar was learning something new about humans. They didn't hate their enemies. They tried to understand them. This was completely foreign to Vraxian culture, where enemies were simply destroyed. "Why aren't you angry with us?" he asked Linda. "We killed your diplomats. We attacked your colonies." Linda's answer was simple. Anger doesn't solve problems. Understanding does. For the first time in his life, Kraz Tekar felt something unusual. Shame about fighting, rather than pride. These strange, peaceful humans had defeated his fleet, but now they offered help instead of destruction. It made no sense according to Vraxian values, but somehow it felt right.